Hello camera, I'm showing off an Australian indie brand's makeup. This brand is called Bare Beauty. I'll leave all the information down below in the description box. This is a cute little card that actually came inside of the order. It just says thank you, and it reads, "Thank you for your support. Without you I could not do what I do. Your support is helping a small business succeed and helping a dream stay alive. From the bottom of my heart, thank you." It's a nice little card. And what I'm most excited for, there's 3 things that I got. The brand itself has quite a few different makeup items. They've got, well, an eyeshadow palette, which I'll open and show the inside of in a minute. They have beautiful duochromes that go alongside the palette, so I got the shade Sailfin. And they also make some beautiful lashes, so I've got a pair of lashes in the style Llana, who is also a fellow YouTuber on here. She's a gorgeous lady. She does some amazing art. Please check her out below as well. I'll leave her link in the description. The brand also has like some liquid eyeshadows. They are similarly, I'm pretty sure they are duochromes as well, but they have liquid eyeshadows. The owner, Rory, he also makes press-on nails, so you can get pre-made sets or you can get a custom set made, so, which I think is pretty cool that he is multifaceted with his brand. The main star of the show today that I want to feature is this beautiful green palette. Look at all of those delicious, yummy colours. I know some people don't like glitters. I love glitters myself personally, and just look at that lime glitter, that like deeper forest green glitter, and then the more emerald green. Oh, they are beautiful. I'm going to be using these today on the eye, as well as the pigment and the lashes that I got. But I also recently purchased a couple of bases, or a couple of products from another brand called Llana. If you watched my previous video setting up my Made by Mitchell case, you would have already seen some of these products. But I want to see how this eyeshadow palette performs using this as a base. This is Llana's Colour Fix. This is the matte shade in Colour Lift. I love using this for an eyeshadow base. I've tried it a couple of times, and I want to see how the palette performs using this on one eye, and then my tried and true Llana Cosmetics Clean Canvas on the other eye. This has a bit of colour to it, as it is supposed to be a eye canvas and as well as a concealer. So that compared to the white of the Llana, I want to see how much of a tonal difference there is between using the same shades on the eye but on different coloured bases. I want to use this, which is the Colour Fix Glaze and just the clear, and I want to mix this with the duochrome pigment in the shade Sailfin and make like a paint, and I'll probably put that over the centre of the lids. So plan is to do a darker, a green smoky eye using some of these mattes. Might put a couple of these shimmers on the eye too, just to get some fun shimmer as a base, and then I'll be using, like I said, the clear glazed mix with this on both sides. I'll be using this palette, which is from Glam Vice. This is an eyeliner palette. It is so beautiful. Look at all these beautiful shades. These are water activated eyeliners, so I'll probably go in with like this shade as the eyeliner, because duh, look at that green. I could almost call it a monochromatic eye look at this point. I'll first start with this eye, and this will be the Llana Cosmetics Clean Canvas Primer. I'm just going to pat over everywhere just with my finger, just to make sure that I've properly blended everything out, that there isn't too much product in one area, because I find sometimes if you don't do so with these type of bases, you can actually leave too much product in one area and it can cause inconsistencies. Don't want that. I'm going to go in with this lighter green, and I'll probably go in between these two and just blend it out, but I'll start going in with this green. Going to saturate on both sides of the brush. Oh wow, from initial laying down, that's beautiful. Yeah. This is also a new brush to me as well. I've not used this brush before, so I'm not sure on its actual performance. So take this with a grain of salt. I will also be going in with other brushes I'm confident with and trying them out, but at the moment I just want to wing out the green, because I will be going over this area with that darker green liner as well, so I'm going to build up depth and smokiness. I'm just going to start bringing that into the inner corner, and then like I said, going with that slightly lighter mince green to blend it out, smoke it out a bit further. And this is a quite fun brush shape because it's fluffy like a blending brush, but it's flat, so it's like you can blend but it keeps in it a flat way, so it's really nice for doing these kind of rounded shapes and keeping it relatively in control. It's okay, I got a little bit of the green on the eyelash line area. I'll actually start blending some of that down there anyway. Actually quite happy so far, absolutely no fallout whatsoever. Considering I went quite far down with that base, I'm surprised that there is no fallout. I'm just going to go over the edges of that and blend with this soft mint green. I don't know if there's... I think there might have been a little bit of shimmer in this brush because I'm getting a little bit of shimmer on the eyeball. I don't mind. Ignore that little bit of shimmer that's up there, that's not supposed to be there. Now I'm just going to, on the same brush, dip between the first green we used and the lighter green, just to get a little bit more of the darker green's pigment back in the areas that I did blend over, and just to kind of reinforce that it's a little bit of a darker green, but softening it up with that pastelsized, or that minty green I should say. Now I'm going to go in with this darker green here. Actually, I'll start with this one. Going with this darker green. And again, I'm just going to be saturating the colour all the way around on the brush's tip. And I'm now going to pack it along where the wing will be, just to start giving depth along where the wing will be for this look. So now you can see on camera I've just added that slight bit of depth there, and it's given that kind of like shadow of wing. Very pretty. This little detailed brush, and I'm going to use maybe like this shimmer just above where I've already blended, and use this as like my brow highlight. Actually, I'll just swatch quickly. So I'm swatching between this green and that green shimmer. So what I think is the lightest will be on my root finger, the darkest will be on my pointer. Yeah, you can see slight difference. This one's slightly darker, this one's more like candy apple green, this is a bit more forest green. They swatch beautifully though. I'm also just going to grab out my setting spray just to grab a little bit more and foil it a bit, just because in here where I haven't put any shadow it's obviously not going to be as pigmented, so I just want this shimmer to be a bit more pigmented in the spots where it's missing the matte base to give it that nicer pop. Sure, what I want to use is my inner corner highlight, because in terms of shimmer, there's not really anything that I would use personally in this palette as an inner corner highlight. They're just not light enough. The glitters, maybe I could use that one, but I personally am not the biggest fan of putting glitter in the inner corner highlight. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to reach into my trusty little bag where I actually put a green highlighter in called Never Alone from StarGem Cosmetics, and I'm just going to pack that on the inner corner, as well as probably put the slightest bit above that shimmer where I just did it, just to give me that extra oomph that I crave. There we go, look at that. Doesn't that just like perfectly go with the look? to bring that intensity but not really changing up the shape of the way that I've blended everything, because I want it to have almost like a very solid shape, almost like a mask. I don't mind having the makeup looking a bit more harshly shaped compared to some people. I know some like it all being blown out and soft, but I don't mind some hard edges if they're strategically placed. Obviously if you've got hard edges everywhere it doesn't work, but if it's a strategically placed one, it almost like forces the light to catch in certain areas. I'm now going to bust out the handy dandy Tropical Treasure palette from Glam Vice. In the pan of this, I will just wet the formula. As you can see, it gets slightly lighter when it's wet. When it dries, it goes a bit darker. And I will work the liquid into it until it gets to almost like a creamy consistency. So you don't want it too wet, you don't want it too dry. You can see on the brush there, it almost looks like a cream. That's the consistency I personally prefer. And you want to go relatively quickly. You want to go in with confidence with this, because it's not that forgiving. So you just want to go in for it. Go in with confidence. And don't look back. This stuff, if you hesitate, you usually mess up the line. I found you just kind of have to go with it. I'm not mad at it. It's a quite nice, bit more of a emerald green compared to the foresty green blend I've got going on, so it gives a nice contrast of greens. I'm also planning on using this Morphe liner in Poolside in the waterline, which is a beautiful metallic green. I do really like the formula of these Morphe pencils. They're just glide on. And I feel like I'm a bit more on the amateur side for doing waterline work, and I feel like these make it pretty easy to put it on without being like, oh my god, scared. You know, jab yourself. I've got a flat little, this is supposed to be for concealing. This is a Morphe M224 brush. I'm just going to use this as my brush to paint on with the clear glaze mix with sailfin. Obviously, the way that I've used it isn't with a glitter glue, which is probably the better way to do it. I just wanted to try mixing the clear glaze from Danessa Myricks with it to almost turn it into a paint, just to see what it will be like. So, I'll be back in a sec, camera. I'll have lashes done. I'll also have my mascara and all that. And then I'll quickly do this eye as well on camera using the Danessa Myricks base. I just won't be explaining what I'm doing and talking through it. And then I'll give my final thoughts. So far I am really enjoying the colours of the shadows. I'm enjoying the way that this is performing on the lid. I'm not discrediting the fact that it's not as even of a coverage, because that's just colour, or that's the colour fix at this point in time as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to try, like I said, doing the other side with the glitter glue. And then I'm going to go apply these beautiful looking lashes. These are the lashes in the style of Llana. And I'll be right back. Yay, finally back. I had to do some trimming of the lashes, so I trimmed the lashes a little bit. I've also done a little bit of some black liner from StarGem Cosmetics just along the inner corner portion to help blend the lash band in further. Really happy with how this looks. As you can see though, the actual glaze is kind of broken down in the lid area. I expected that to happen at least with adding this formula. It hasn't done that when I've actually put it with, like, on top of just bases and on top of eyeshadows. It doesn't do that. It just doesn't seem to want to at least stay evenly spread with this, which makes sense, it's not supposed to. But I wanted to experiment, see what it looks like, so now I'm going to do this eye, essentially the same eye look, just not talking through things, sped up, and I'm going to try and do some slight differences to see if I can get the actual performance the way I want to. So I'm going to be going in with, like I said, the Llana base on this other eye, recreating essentially the exact same thing that I just did, but with some slight variation to hopefully correct the slight issues that I've experienced by doing things in ways that I normally wouldn't really do it. But that's the whole fun of the makeup. What I already like immediately more using this base instead is that just like it's a lot more like bright, and I just like bright makeup more. Like this is the same eyeshadows, but like you can see that difference in performance. Like this is just like fun neon, and while there's nothing wrong with this is much more toned down. I'm a bright person. Where I might diverge with this look compared, especially with colour wise compared to the other side, because this Llana side is making everything a lot more vibrant and a lot brighter, I might actually go into the even darker green in the Bare Beauty palette. Packing this on instead of smearing is the way to go, because once packed on it's really pretty, but I can't smear it to save my life, even though I really like the way it looks when it mixes with stuff and smears. Like there's no point keep on going on if this is just going to keep on breaking down. But in terms of the actual formulation of the shadows, they are really nice. They blend beautifully, especially over the top of this Llana colour fix. It is really pretty, but I will have to keep on trying to figure out how to use this product. It just doesn't seem to want to play nice with at least the two, well, my typical glitter glue, which I use all the time with glitter, and it doesn't do this. I also tried the colour fix on this side, and colour wise, like I said, very beautiful palette. I love the colours in this. I will be playing with it more, so I won't use this because obviously this is not optimal, and I don't want to be doing this and then being like, oh, is this what's going to happen mid-look? And then be like, well, I don't really want to continue doing the look if it's just going to keep on breaking down further and further. I'm still going to be doing more looks with this, playing with this, not doing stuff with this pigment, just so I can actually give and get a better understanding of how I like the shadows. I'm already really happy with how they look from first application. I'm especially surprised at how vivid the colours are on this eye, where I use the Colour Fix by Llana as the base compared to the Gerard Cosmetics. Yeah, very pretty overall. I haven't played with the glitters. I might try and give a little swatch. This thing is clean, so I'll give a little swatch. Ooh, the formula of the glitters feel nice. Very pretty. They would also be quite nice to use over the lid, like what I was doing with the pigment. I was just hoping to be able to do it with the actual pigment itself. I like this. I like it. I'm definitely looking forward to playing with it more, getting more use out of it. This, like I said, is kind of almost an unfair assessment of the performance of some of these products, as I was experimenting with how I would apply them, but equally that's kind of what a first impression is supposed to be. Performance-wise of the shadows, I like. Performance-wise of the actual pigment, where it is wanting to lay, it looks stunning on this eye especially. It looks beautiful. The lashes were pretty. I'm just about to cut these in the same way I did with the other ones, just because I like to at least make sure I've done that and remember it. Would recommend checking out the brand. I'm not so much sure with how I'd recommend the pigments. Lashes wise, they were quite nice. I will note on this eye, for some odd reason, the inner corner wasn't wanting to lay down normally. I did have to finesse it a little bit, but I do also believe that was because I hadn't trimmed it first to put on this eye. They looked like pre-trimming that it would fit fine, but post actually trying to put them on, I realised no, I need to trim the slightest bit off. But these are beautiful. Like I said, these are the style in Llana, so nice and pretty. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you stick around for me to do a part 2 video to this, actually playing around and not trying to try new things out, so I will actually be able to give you a more solid look than this. Love you all from Australia. Hope you have a great start to 2021. See you all. Bye.